Well, hi everyone. It's Molly, and today I'm here with Alyssa Meyer. And Alyssa is a licensed clinical social worker. She's a registered play therapy supervisor. She's a trauma play supervisor and an EMDR consultant in training. So, welcome, Alyssa.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, great. So, Alyssa, we've got 10 more minutes. What's one thing you would love for the world to know?
Yeah, so I think something that's really important in this field and just working with parents and families is that a dysregulated child isn't intentionally giving you a hard time, right? They're having a hard time. And so healing really starts with co regulation and not just correction.
Hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
So, Alyssa, how did you come to discover this?
Yeah, so I think that this kind of one, it came up in my own kind of growth and development as a play therapist and learning about the neurobiology and nervous system regulation and really through working with parents who tend to want to use more traditional methods, timeouts and behavior modification techniques, and really seeing that these approaches weren't working for the population that I was working with, really being heavy in children who have experienced relational trauma or other types of traumatic experience and had a really activated nervous system. And so it really came from working with those parents and those family systems and really learning about children's nervous systems.
Wow. So cool. So, what's the first step someone would take?
Yeah, I think the first step that I think that's different depending on the population you're talking about. If you're a parent, the first step is regulating yourself first.
Mm,
When your child is dysregulated, focusing on your own nervous system, soothing and calming yourself, and that really sets the tone for the child then. And I think in the work of a therapist, so another, if there's other therapists kind of watching, where to start first is education, right? Educating yourself about the nervous system,
mm.
educating your parents about the nervous, educating the children
Yeah,
about the nervous system, their
yeah.
own nervous system, and being authentic to that when you're working, in that relationship with the child and with the
Mm.
parents.
Okay, yeah. Very basic. It's really the foundation.
Yeah, I think it is the foundation, right?
Yeah.
The education, the learning, the practicing yourself,
Hmm.
right? And that's true for the parents, like regulating themselves first. It's true for the therapist to regulate yourself first.
Yes, yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. And so when people are embarking on this, what's a common obstacle that they face?
Yeah, I think as a therapist, we see parents who come in really really pressured to like fix the behaviors, whether it's pressure from the school system to have the behavior fixed, whether it's pressure because the behavior, the symptom that they're seeing is really causing impairment to their day-to-day functioning, their routines. So I think parents will come in feeling like, the behavior needs to be fixed, right? um, and thinking about that behavior as a symptom, right? The concern that the presenting problem is coming in.
Yeah.
um, and so I think it's slowing that down, that pressure to fix my kid. And on the flip side of that, the therapist feeling pressured to fix it.
Yeah.
I've got to be the one to fix this problem.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I think that's a big obstacle. It becomes kind of a barrier um, to that progress, because if there's a mismatch in our expectation from reality, like what we expect to happen in therapy, like my kid's going to have fixed behavior after session number one, or this
Yeah.
therapist is going to be everything that we need, and therapist is going to fix it all, and but true change really happens over time,
Yeah.
right? And so being patient, being consistent, being authentic to yourself, right? Um, and I think really developing the relationship with the client, with the parent, is really important to help overcome that kind of obstacle.
Yeah, I can totally see that being an obstacle that everyone can kind of get wrapped up in sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, the culture of fix it and find a solution right now. And yeah,
Yeah. And if we're looking at the first step as self regulation, then that anxiety is just going to thwart everything that we try to do. Gosh. Oh, yeah.
yeah,
It's hard work. So how do I know if I'm doing it right?
yeah. Yeah. Well, as a therapist, thinking about how do you know if you're doing it right? It's when we have good rapport with the parents and the child, right? We're integrating
Mm,
both of them into our work, and we have a clear understanding, and the relationship feels. I think there's a different feel to that relationship, right? With a family system where it's like, okay, we're in this together. We can hold space together, right? In trauma play, a word that's coming to mind is being a story keeper for the system, right?
oh
As part
wow.
of that. And then I think that we know that we're doing it right, from the parent perspective when they start to notice that their child is seeking them out for
Mm,
comfort and regulation instead of withdrawing or escalating, or maybe we're not seeing the escalations be so big, or maybe they're not taking so long, or
mm,
they're able to recover faster, for example. So that improvement in the child's ability to self-regulate, right, the
mhm.
parent's ability to regulate. Yeah,
Yes.
I think it's
And then
about, like, if it just feels different, right, it starts to
yes. Yes, there's a feel. It's like the word rapport. It's like, yeah, there's a little bit of a feel to it.
yeah,
In that texture in between the relationship. I love what you're saying because it's like I'm stacking it up in my head what you've said. Like it's like let's look at the behaviors. The child is having a hard time, and then I think you said I like that you said connection before correction.
yeah,
So sometimes people think, oh, I can't correct the behavior, but it's just sometimes a matter of order, especially when you have children that have had difficulty or just don't respond. Sometimes you just have a sensitive kiddo and they
yeah,
just respond differently. But I think even before the connection is the regulate yourself.
yeah.
Yeah. Tell me, and it sounds like as the with the trauma play, it's like you help hold the story to make that regulation more possible.
Yeah, absolutely. That the relationship between the therapist and the family system, the
Mm,
parents or the guardians and the child, all of that needs to be working together in cohesion, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, that's so good. And tell me a little bit more about just when someone comes to you and it's like um, that anxiety is there, how it affects the therapist, how a therapist can sort of start to untangle herself a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I think when, we have someone coming in and seeking out
Mhm.
therapy, right? They're coming into therapy because something isn't working in their system,
Mhm.
whether it's individually or in a family sense. Something isn't quite working, and it feels big enough to ask for help,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah,
and and it can feel like a crisis,
yeah,
right? And so if we have all that energy, this feels like a crisis. Like, what am I going to do? Like, we go back to that, like, fix it,
yeah,
make it feel better, give me relief. I think the therapist can kind of feel some pressure with that
yeah,
to fix it.
yeah, yeah.
You're coming to me, I'm the expert, right?
Yes.
Um, and so one of the things that I like to do, or even just remind consultees of, is let's kind of shed that belief that this is all on you to fix, and help
Mhm.
the system and the parents or whoever it is that's seeking out support to see us working together as a team. I'm
Yeah.
just joining your team.
Yes.
You're the expert on yourself.
Yeah.
You know yourself and your body best. And I might be bringing some information that's new to you
Yeah.
that can help us to understand your situation and what you're feeling a little bit differently, right?
Yeah.
But we can kind of reduce that, oh, you're the expert, tell me what to do kind of mentality. And instead, we're joining them, we're partnering with them.
Yes, agreed. Yes, I'm a big believer in partnering with the parent. And as play therapists, we have a very unique situation because we do deal with the parents. We're having to deal with the parents and the child.
Yeah,
And it seems like I like what you're saying. Like, yes, let's deal with it as a system.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I like to teach something called my first 7 questions to ask parents. And one of them, the one before the last one, is what causes you to reach out now? Because I like to pinpoint, like, where's the pressure coming from? Okay. So, because
Mhm.
usually problems have been going on, but something happened
Yeah.
that causes them. So that's just a way to get more information and to get on the same page.
I
Yeah.
think, yeah.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Alyssa. So that's our time. So beautiful. It seems like there's lots there, and I appreciate your time so much.
Absolutely. It was a
Yeah,
pleasure. Thank you for having me.
thanks. Yeah.